Alright, what is going on, guys? Back to another breakdown for UFC Vegas 40. This time we got Julian Marquez taking on Jordan Wright. Wright's going to have a 5-inch reach advantage, and they're the same height. So I'll start with Jordan Wright. This will be his fourth fight in the UFC. He's 2-1 overall. And on the Contender Series, he was knocked out by Anthony Hernandez. Later got overturned due to Hernandez popping for weed. So he's basically 12-2. There's nothing performance enhancer related about that loss. So yeah, 12-2 for Jordan Wright. Both of the losses are by knockout. Got knocked out by Joaquin Buckley. He was Buckley's first opponent after the head kick knockout. So all the momentum was on Buckley. But he's got two wins in the UFC, one over Ike Villanueva, one over Jamie Pickett. His wins are goofy. I'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, stylistically, Jordan Wright, definitely a kickboxer. And he's got fast kicks. He's got a nice variety of kicks. I mean, his kicks are good. Like, I don't want to talk down his kicking game. He could definitely stand to set them up better, though. But yeah, he's got good, like, roundhouse kicks. He's got a good teep kick to the body. I think that is going to be important in this fight if he wants to keep Marquez off of him. Marquez is a pressure fighter. But yeah, Wright, definitely a kickboxer. But his two wins are odd. So he fights Ike Villanueva, and he lands a roundhouse kick, just no setup, just first kick of the fight. He just lands it clean, which you're not going to see that often. And then Villanueva immediately clinches up with him. And Wright had some heavy knees in the clinch. Definitely had some heavy knees in the clinch. And got a cut opened up on Villanueva. Awful spot. Had to be stopped. But yeah, that's his one win. Who knows what would have happened if that fight kept going? I mean, it was all right until that point. But yeah, Villanueva was just in the clinch, just dirty boxing. So who knows how that fight would have gone. And then he gets knocked out by Buckley. Buckley just brought the pressure the whole time, just didn't stop coming forward. And once you get Wright hurt, you kind of know it. He just, like, it's one shot after the other. And he got basically knocked out at the end of the first round, was still wobbled, and gets knocked out at the very beginning of the second round. Then he fights Jamie Pickett, and Jamie Pickett just does one of those where he drives for a takedown, and Wright just went crazy with elbows, knocked him out. So, yeah, Jordan Wright's record, no disrespect, it's just he hasn't really beaten anybody of note, and then the fights he has won have just been weird. Like, Jamie Pickett, I think, is one loss away from getting cut. Ike Villanueva, I don't even know if he's still with the UFC. He's not bad, but I don't know what's good with him. Um, and yeah, just weird circumstances with each win. So definitely worth keeping in mind. And he doesn't do well with pressure at all. That seems to be his kryptonite. I mean, he's a kickboxer, so crowd the kicker. But yeah, if you crowd him, he doesn't have a lot of weapons. That's why I think that teep kick, he's gonna really have to use that in this fight. It's the only thing that he seemed to be keeping Buckley off of him with, and he went start going to that late in the first round. So I think the teep kick will be important for Jordan Wright in this one. But Julian Marquez, very entertaining fighter, pretty underrated, I think. And yeah, he's only got one loss in the UFC outright decision that I thought was not right. I mean, they had the striking numbers at the end of the fight, and the Chirico was up, but it just didn't feel like he won that fight. Marquez had all the pressure, but yeah, Marquez has an iron chin. He's been in some wars, and he just keeps coming. He seems like he only gets tough opponents too. Beats Darren Stewart in a barn burner, which I know Darren Stewart just got cut and he hasn't looked good in a while. But Darren Stewart on his best days, very tough opponent, just tends to gas out. And I think at that point, that was a very good win over Darren Stewart. Knocks out Phil Halls in the Contender Series. Halls hasn't lost since then. Great win. Like I said, I think he beat the Chirico. Maki Pitolo kind of exploited the hole, I guess you could say, against Marquez. He's pretty easy to take down, but he's not easy to hold down. He's very good at getting up, actually, and he has a crafty submission game of his own. He's got a couple submission wins in the UFC, and they're like high fight IQ submissions too, which is what you like to see. And they did the same thing with Sam Alvey, just backed him up the whole time, stunned him, almost got the ground and pound knockout. I think it easily could have been stopped. Every time that happens, it's Mark Smith as the ref, who I think Mark Smith's a pretty good ref, but sometimes he lets fighters gives fighters a little bit too much of a chance, I think. And I think that the Alvey fight could have easily been stopped by knockout. But he slips in the rear naked choke. But yeah, Marquez he's gonna walk forward the entire time, switches stances, very good in tight. He's also got very good knees. I think that the clinch work is one of the best things about Marquez's game, and he's just very strong. But yeah, he can be taken down. And I have seen Wright was training with Derek Brunson not too long ago. Saw that on Instagram. So wouldn't be surprised if Wright is gonna think to work in the takedown. I don't know how much that's gonna work out for him though. It's not really his forte. So for this one, guys, we got Julian Marquez minus 225. Favorite Jordan Wright comeback is plus 180 underdog, and I believe this fight was a lot tighter as of a couple days ago. I think Marquez is like minus 180, so the money is definitely coming in on Marquez, and I definitely agree with that. I think this is Marquez's fight to lose. I think his strengths are going to play off of Wright's weaknesses. He's just an all pressure guy. Wright doesn't seem to have a lot of answers if you don't give him space. Yeah, he's got the reach advantage, but Marquez has walked down just about every single one of his opponents, and he's got an iron chin. I just don't think Wright's going to be able to knock him out by setting up like a naked roundhouse kick against a guy with an iron chin. I just don't think it's going to happen. So I think Marquez is going to walk him down and just go to work. And Wright doesn't handle pressure well. So I do like Julian Marquez to get the knockout. And it's early in the week. We don't have the props yet, but I think we might be able to get it generous because, minus 225. These props always seem to be more generous than I thought. Like last week, I thought we were going to get Romanov at like minus 120 to minus 160. I said to bet it there, Romanov knockout, and we got it at plus 180, which I slammed. So, yeah, I think we might get a little lucky on this one because Marquez does have a couple submission wins, but it's like I said, they were like, could have been knockout, just ended up being a submission. And then with Maki Pitolo was just wrestling the whole time. And Pitolo's downfall is that he doesn't really have good cardio. So, Marquez was able to work in a really crafty submission there, but yeah, he's more of a knockout type style, and I do think that his game excels where Jordan Wright's weaknesses kind of are. So I just do think that Wright's not gonna be able to handle that pressure, and I think Marquez gonna end up knocking him out. Couldn't tell you a round, but I do think it'll be in round one or two, maybe two, gun to my head, but that's not an official pick. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Sure, subscribe and take it easy.